So, other than the NBA Finals, we learned that the Orlando Magic traded or made a huge trade. The Memphis Grizzlies traded Desmond Bane to Orlando for KCP, or as he's more commonly known, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, Cole Anthony, and four unprotected first round picks, and one first round pick swap. Now, I've seen a lot of different takes on the trade. I honestly think it's a win-win trade. I wanted to see what your perspective was and why you think it was either a win-win, a win-lose, or a lose-lose, you know.
I like it a lot for both teams. I agree. Like at the time of the trade, it does feel like a win-win. Like I feel like most trades we say that as like just go to go really badly for one side. Like maybe
Yeah.
none of those picks hit, or maybe Desmond Bain just like doesn't work out there. But like yeah, at the time of the trade, it does feel like a win-win to me. When you really look at the four picks, like four unprotected first, it sounds like a lot. But the one unprotected first is the 16th overall pick in the draft. We know that. Which this draft, like I don't know, you might get a good role player. It's not like this is the deepest draft of all time where you're really gonna get
Yeah.
like a franchise changing player there. Like obviously the league's built on outliers, so you never know. Maybe they do draft an outlier development prospect at 16 and he does become some stud, but
Yeah.
like highly unlikely. Next year's pick is the worst between the Suns and the Wizards, so it's hard for me to imagine both of them get extremely lucky in the lottery. Like, I would think both of them are most likely in the lottery, Wizards especially. But yeah, I think the Suns probably are a lottery team, so I think they probably lose in the play-in or don't make the play-in.
Mm.
But it's hard for me to imagine they both get extremely lucky. So I would think that pick is like toward the end of the lottery, like from like 10 to 14. So that's not a very valuable pick, even though it is a good draft and they could get a good player. And
Mm.
then the Magic are just betting on themselves with the 28 and 30 and the 2029 swap. Like you would hope that the 2029 swap doesn't even convey because you will hope that the other team is worse than you. And you should, like, if this core does play well, the 2028 and the 2030 pick should be in the 20s or 30s. So I kind of like it. You're betting on yourself. And the Grizzlies, that is a haul for Desmond Bane. I think Desmond Bane is better than some All-Star players out there. I'm very high on Desmond Bane. I think
Yeah.
that's my main takeaway, bro, is I think Desmond Bane is a lot better than most fans think he is
I
because I
agree.
think he's
I
so
agree.
efficient and is so well rounded. And I think he fits the team perfectly. They have some of the worst spacing in the league, and Paolo Banchero is one of the best rim scorers in the league, but he doesn't get there as much as you would like him to. He settles for the mid range a lot, and I'm guessing with this trade, the Magic think that most of it is due to spacing and not mentality.
Yeah.
And I think that's yet to be seen because they do have some of the worst spacing. I think Paolo's mentality to get to the rim does need a little bit of work, but I really like his game, and I do think he could be one of the best players in the league. So I think they're taking a bet on their core, and I think they're taking a bet on themselves. I can never hate on that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, similarly to you, I saw basically like that the outrage that, all the NBA fans had. So I was just like, you know what? Let me just sleep on it. I was feeling a little sick. So like some things that I kind of took away, right? Um, One, the Magic, they get a three-point shooter who can play defense while being a great third option. And I think a lot of people they don't understand that with Desmond Bane. He's proven that he's a great third option with John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. He's proven that he can be a second option too at times when John Morant is out. And he's a really good shooter, which, like you said before, the Magic really needed. And even though they got rid of KCP. I understand why they got rid of KCP. He didn't do what they needed him to do in the playoffs against the Celtics. And I'm assuming they were like, okay, Paolo and Franz can't be the only ones to initiate this offense. We need another player. Um, and Cole Anthony's value, I think, was at its highest that it's ever been because he played as hard as he did against the Celtics. Um, excuse me. So I mean, ultimately, I think for the Magic side, like you said, they're betting on themselves. It really shows that they're committing to this new future. And I think this is kind of like a Magic team that I haven't really seen be competitive in a long time because a lot of the teams that we saw growing up, they would always be the 8 seed or the 7 seed, and it'd be like Nikola Vucevic in company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like it's really interesting now to see that the Magic are like, no, we're gonna try to compete for a championship. And I remember I saw a video of I forget who it was, but they said basically like Indiana making the finals is kind of like the butterfly effect of now these teams really trying to compete because they see that it's wide open.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, from the Magic standpoint, I honestly like I really love the trade because this is something that they haven't done in like a long time. Um, and it's a big swing, and I feel like Paolo can honestly respond to that because he's only going to get better. And I feel like he's definitely an underrated playmaker as well. So him with Desmond Bane, I think is going to go crazy. And even like because Franz is a playmaker too. So Franz, excuse me, with Desmond Bane, I feel like is going to go crazy as well. And on the Grizzlies side of things, you get a champion in KCP, a defender in KCP as well. And then also you got Cole Anthony, who's a great defensive player. Actually, I wanted to go back to Orlando one more time because we also
Mhm.
forgot to mention Jalen Suggs. He was out this playoffs, but I feel like he's going to be another guy that can match perfectly with Desmond Bane, because they're both just defensive guards. But I think Jalen Suggs is just way more of a like a defensive minded guard to where Desmond Bane can get his own type of shine. So I'm really excited to see that whole roster just well, I'm not gonna be excited when they play us because I don't think I don't
Yeah,
know what we're gonna do, but it's gonna be interesting to see their roster next year. I think they're gonna be something special, honestly, with that trade. So back to what I was saying about the Grizzlies. I love that they got a veteran leader. I love that they got future picks. And I love that they're still trying to commit to John Morant because there was a lot of speculation on whether he would get traded because of that whole Luca thing. So it's really good to see that the Grizzlies are embracing Ja and Jaren, and they're like, no, we want to continue building this culture that we have in Memphis because they've built something special there. I just feel like they need to find their identity again, if that makes sense.
yeah. I thought you made some really nice points. I kind of overlooked Cole Anthony and KCP in my part. Part of that is because I think like both of their years last year weren't the finest years of their career. I think Cole Anthony was had a took a step back from the year previous, and
I understand. Yeah.
KCP didn't return the value that you would have thought he did after the contract. So I really don't feel as though the Magic like really took a hit in their depth because I think it would have been harder for Cole Anthony to like see as much rotational minutes as you would like him to next year. And I think you kind of just have Desmond Bane just coming in and replacing KCP's role as like a guy who like fits the role a little bit better. And I do like what you said about Desmond Bane. I do think he's an underrated defender. I think he's like a very neutral defender in the league, and people like seem to think he's like a bad defender, and I don't think that's true at all. I think he does provide a lot of positive impact defensively, um,
Mm.
that you wouldn't expect. And I think when a team that is as good defensively as the Magic, I think that maybe he'll be a even better defender than he was last year. And I think he could return good defensive value. I saw it being compared